Hey my scrappy friends, I have a tutorial for you today. I'm going to be printing a whole bunch of photos onto an 8 by 10 paper on my printer at home. So I like to use PicMonkey when I'm putting a collage together. So right now you're seeing me go through and pick some pictures, and I like to put all my pictures in PicMonkey and then go through and decide what I'm going to use for the collage. The collage that I'm going to be using, and you'll see it in a minute, I don't think I show me picking out that one, but I decided to use one that has 6 photos, so it has a big square and then 5 squares on the sides of it. So here it is. And depending on what I'm printing will generally change which collage I use. I do tend to like to pick the ones that are square because I find that it's a little bit easier to move around the photo, and the photo tends to be what I had on my screen because I can make the dimensions fit a little bit better. Some of the other ones that are longer, I find cut off quite a bit of my photo that I maybe didn't want to cut off. So that's kind of why I pick the squares, and they work really good for like Instagram photos and stuff like that too. So here's my 6 photos, and this one is whatever the dimensions are down at the bottom of the screen, and you can't see it, but down at the bottom it will show you the dimensions. And you can play around with that, which is why I like PicMonkey, because if I say I want to print off photos for Project Life and I just want 2 3x4 cards, I can change the dimensions to 18 by 1200, and then I can have 2 3x4 cards and print it off on a 4x6. That's part of the reason why I really like PicMonkey. I can do a lot of other things in PicMonkey, like edit my photos. Also, all these are not edited on there. I actually think I used PicTapGo for most of them, but you can edit right in there, and it's super easy. So I really like PicMonkey. To do special stuff with PicMonkey, you have to pay extra. So here is where you can see down at the bottom, down that grid. And what I'm doing is I'm just checking to see where on my desktop my photo is, and I'm gonna add this to my photo album on my Mac. So I use a Mac. This is obviously going to be a little bit different, but it's still, whether you're using Windows based or Mac based, it's just going to save your photo as a JPEG onto your computer, and you just have to decide where you want it. I always pick the desktop so that I can find it right away, because usually I do my collage, I print it, and then I use my photos right away, or I print them off right away. But you don't have to do it that way. You could, do your collage and then just save it, and then as you know you want to use it. Like I said, so now I'm going through and I'm going to pick 8 by 10. This is the size that my big sheet is. It's the biggest that my printer will print by, and I have an HP photo printer. I think it's 7520. I think that's the model that it is. It's just one of their photo printers. It's decent. So here you're seeing me use a different dimension, and I switched the dimensions to 2000 by 1600. You have to hit the lock after each number. So when you put in 2000, you have to hit lock, and then you can put in 1600. This just makes it more rectangle as opposed to a complete square. So obviously I have to go back through and kind of play around with, and actually I think what I did was I did it with the dimensions for the 3x4 card, like 4x6. I didn't like how it was, so I just kind of tweaked the dimensions, but I ended up going with 2000 by 1600. I actually like this size quite a bit. When I printed it off, the 2x2 squares that were normally the squares were 3.5 by 2.5, or roughly around that size, which is pretty good for like Project Life, or if you're going to use a lot of photos. I did not make it so that these are 4x6s with, you know, 3x4 cards. If you guys want me to do something like that, let me know in the comments and I can try to tweak this and get it to have a dimension that was probably something maybe that you would use. But for this, I just decided to use what I was going for. And I tend to use square photos when I'm using multiple photos on a layout. I just like the way that they look a little bit better. And if I'm going to do a 4x6, I'm just going to print off a 4x6 at home. So that's kind of my thought process on that. But sometimes it's easier to print off multiple photos than it is to just print off one. So now I'm going back in this one, and I did do 2 of these because I wasn't sure which size that I wanted. So here you can see, here's my second one with the bigger photos, and that large photo, that bigger one is 6.5 by 5.25. So it's a pretty good size. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go, and I think I hit fit. No, I think I don't. I'm trying to remember if I hit fit. All I know is there's an edge around each one, but I was okay with that. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know in the comments section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.